It's I'm pulling it all together. It's a roadmap through all of the 10 books, what's in them and how to use them and how they dovetail into each other. And this book is going to be called Defining the Eric Morris System of Experiential Acting. And as I said, it's a roadmap. It's a directory through all 10 of my books.
Absolutely.
And that's the story for now. I've also directed about 6 or 7 plays here in Hollywood over the years that I'm proud of. I like working on a play. I don't do it anymore, but I insist on working for 9 to 12 months on a play. I think it takes that kind of time to really create the reality and the ensemble of acting. So, but it's hard to get actors to sit still for a year. But I've done several plays, about 4 or 5 in Hollywood, that we worked on for months and months and months and months, and a couple of them for a year. Glass Menagerie is one of them. Night Mother is another one. So, yeah, I've been very active, and I'm writing a play also now. I have 2 projects going. This is the first time I'm splitting myself between 2 projects, my book and my play. So this is the first time I'm doing that. It's going to be hectic. But this one is not going to be written in 4.5 months. Let me tell you, this is going to take a couple of years, this book, because it's very complex. I'm comparing all of my system to Stanislavski and Lee Strasberg, the comparisons and the contrasts and my contribution. And I work with people instrumentally. That's something that, to liberate their instruments so they're free to act, that's something that no teacher anywhere works with, the liberating the instrument. Lee Strasberg used to say, I'm not crossing the line between acting and psychology. Well, I don't think I've crossed the line either. I just help actors to liberate themselves. I help them liberate themselves from their obstacle, their fear, their superstitions, their emotional blocks, their dependencies, their tension, et cetera, et cetera. At one time, I had 750 exercises that liberated the actor from all of the issues, the damage that occurs while we grow up. So I have several books on the instrument and several books that combine the instrument with the craft. Also teach a very specific craft that addresses and fulfills material. So, over the 61 years, I've become a master teacher. And I can say that without an ego structure or egocentricity, because when you're telling the truth about what you've done and what you can do, that's not an ego trip. That's reality. And so that's what I can tell you. Do you have any questions, Trey, about anything I've already said?
Yeah, I just, not questions, but I'd like to comment on things. Your acting system is very interesting. I'm fascinated with all the acting techniques, methods, and systems, like Strasberg and all the others. And each one is different. It reaches the same goal, but they go about it a different way,
Well, actually, that's not true about Lee and Stanislavski and myself. We pretty much adhere to a common goal in common approaches that relate to the same goals and the same impetus. So I would not say that, yes, there's differences between Stanislavski, differences in Strasberg. Strasberg actually updated a lot of what Stanislavski wrote about, made it more pragmatic and practical, and while he stood on the shoulders of Stanislavski, I stand on the shoulders of Lee Strasberg. But I'm going to say something else which is going to sound like an ego trip. I have gone light years, galaxies beyond the original precepts of Stanislavski and Lee, actually. notwithstanding, I have tremendous respect for both of them. I stand on their shoulders. Without Lee Strasberg, without Stanislavski, there would be no Eric Morris. I know that, and I'm totally grateful, unendingly grateful to both of those men. But I've gone very far beyond the original precepts in my own evolution and in my own commitment and in my own innovations of the system that I've created. Strasberg never wrote a book on acting. The book Dream of Passion is not an acting book by his own words. And Stanislavski only wrote 4. So when I say I've written 10 books, I mean, that's really to document my system. So when I say I've gone galaxies beyond, it's true. It's provable. All you have to do is follow the books, and I would say that I have at least a dozen teachers teaching around the world, teaching my system exclusively. I have several schools that are credentialed who teach a 4-year course using my system. One of them is called Actors Theater of ACCT, Actors Theater of Theater and Television in Sydney, Australia. You also get a degree by going to that school. They exclusively teach my system. And then the other one is in Brisbane, Queensland. The Queensland Institute, QUT, Queensland University of Technology. They teach a 4-year course, a bachelor's degree, and they have a theater department that teaches my work exclusively there. And in Turkey, they published 4 of my books, translated them. They teach my work in the Philippines, and in Argentina, they have a whole school called the Eric Morris School, the Eric Morris Method, or the Eric Morris System, I guess, in Buenos Aires. And so I have teachers in about 6 or 8 countries, maybe more, outside of this country, and I got about 10 teachers teaching all over this country. So my work is being disseminated all over the world. I get, I'm reaching thousands of people. I get emails and letters and phone calls, from people who use my work who are very grateful, and it's a life-changing process. And a lot of people say that the work has changed their life, not only in acting but in living. I feel very grateful. I think even though I'm an atheist and I don't believe in God, I think it's a gift from God. I mean, that's all. That's what I just said is a strange thing to say, but it's a gift of nature is what it is, and energy and spirituality. I've been given a gift, and I'm so grateful. I'm grateful for my gift that I'm sharing with everybody.
Absolutely.
Any other?
Yeah, your work speaks for itself. Your work spreads around, it speaks for itself, and it draws more and more. It grows each day,
Yeah, I'm very happy. I'm very happy with the way I've spent my life. And when I leave the planet, I feel I've contributed something to it, I'm not a consummate consumer of Earth's gifts, of Earth's resources. I breathe the air, I drink the water, I eat the food that's grown in the ground, and so I'm giving something back. I'm giving something back to the planet, and that that makes me feel that I've done good things with my life.
Definitely, absolutely. My next question to you is, what do you find is the most difficult part or the most challenging part being in the industry?
Well, are you talking about being an actor, pursuing a career?
Yeah.
Well, let me just say this. I've had actors come up to me over the years, say to me, "Well, I love what you're teaching, and I'm growing, and it's affecting my life. But what do you think? Should I pursue an acting career?" My answer is the same. People come to me who haven't studied with me. Do you think? Give me some advice. Do you think I should pursue an acting career? I have the same answer. Not unless you must. Not unless you have to. Not unless you are absolutely committed to that's what you must do with your life. No, you shouldn't do it unless you have that kind of passion, because there are no guarantees. You can spend your whole life being an actor, pursuing a career, and never being able to be successfully in terms of making a living at it. It's a very competitive business, and it's a very disloyal business. When I say disloyal, no, there's no loyalty in it. It is very dependent on being in the right place at the right time. Yeah, there are people who become movie stars every day, and you can be successful, and you can. I've had I never became a household name or a movie star, but I've had a very good acting career. I've done 50 equity plays on stage. I've done, including television and the episodic stuff that I've done, plus the movies I've done. I've done 100 films. 100 films, 50 equity plays, television, etc. I don't do commercials. I've never done a commercial, never wanted to. But, if you take all of the television I've done and all of the segments, repetitions, and all of the films I did, it would come to about 100. I had a syndicated series I was on. I did 39 episodes of that series. It was called Eyewitness to the Past, and it was syndicated. Then I had a running role in a network series, CBS, the new Phil Silver Show. I did in '64. I had a running role, a character in that. Didn't last. It didn't even last the whole season, but I was definitely in that. And so I've done all kinds of television shows about 15, maybe 20 movies. So I've done a lot of work as an actor, but you can do a lot of work and nobody knows who you are, I've had good parts, medium parts, small parts. I've been acting, for the better part of my life. But as far as, encouraging people to dedicate their life there's no guarantee in any art. You're a dancer, you're a painter, you're a writer, you are whatever you do, you are a musician. There's no guarantee. If you become a doctor, if you become an architect, if you hang the shingle out, and as a doctor, you're pretty guaranteed that you'll be able to put bread on the table. You're going to make a living, somehow. There's no guarantee as an artist, And speaking about writing, I have 10 books. They're all on distribution all over the world. There are ebooks on Kindle. You can get all of my books on Kindle, ebooks, hard copies, Amazon, etc. But we got an agent. My first book worked with Joan Hotchkiss. She helped me to put it on paper, so to speak. We got an agent in New York, Elaine Markson, and she sent my book, my book actually, No Acting Please, my first book, around to every publisher in New York. And they all refused to publish it. They said, "Oh, this is very interesting material. This is very good, well written. But acting books don't usually sell out their first printing, and we don't want to invest in it." I said, I had 10 gorgeous rejection letters. So what did I do? I was ready to throw it in a drawer, and I had lunch with my friend Paul Whitehouse, who is now gone. May God rest his soul. See, I'm an atheist and I use God a lot. But anyway, maybe I do believe him a little bit. So, but anyway, Paul Whitehouse said to me, Eric,